So let me get this straight, WWE just gave us what should have been a WrestleMania main event caliber match on free television, and half the wrestling community is complaining about the finish? Are you serious right now? Johnny Gargano, the man who literally invented NXT takeovers, the guy who gave us some of the greatest matches in modern wrestling history, just had what might be his last shot at singles gold, and people are mad because Ilja Dragunov retained? Excuse me, when did we become so entitled that we can't appreciate two absolute warriors beating the living hell out of each other for 23 minutes of pure, unfiltered violence and storytelling? And you know what's even worse? The fact that people are already saying this match doesn't matter because it wasn't on a premium live event. Well, guess what? This match just proved that SmackDown is must-see television, and if you missed it, you missed history. Takes a breath. Welcome to Wrestling Zone, where we don't sugarcoat anything. And yeah, I'm fired up because the 7th of November 2025 SmackDown just delivered something special, and I need all of you to understand exactly why this United States Championship match between Ilja Dragunov and Johnny Gargano might be the match of the year. And before you say anything, before you tell me I'm overreacting, watch the match again, and then come back and tell me I'm wrong. I'll wait. Let's set the stage. Ilja Dragunov has been the United States champion for 87 days at this point, and he's been an absolute menace with that title. This isn't the pretty championship reign where the champion shows up, cuts a promo, and defends once a month. No, Dragunov has been defending that title like it's the only thing keeping him alive. He's gone through everybody: Chad Gable, Santos Escobar, Austin Theory, LA Knight, and he's done it with this unhinged, almost psychotic intensity that makes you genuinely believe this man would rather die in that ring than lose his championship. That's not hyperbole. That's just who Ilja Dragunov is. Then you've got Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling, the heart and soul of NXT, the man who had 5-star classics with Tommaso Ciampa, Andrade, Adam Cole, and basically everyone he's ever stepped in the ring with. But here's the thing that nobody wants to talk about. Johnny's been on the main roster for a couple years now, and he hasn't captured that singles gold. Tag titles with Tommaso? Check. Incredible matches? Absolutely. But that one singles championship that defines a main roster career? It's been elusive. And at 37 years old, with guys like Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, and other young lions coming up behind him, Johnny knows, we all know, that his window is closing. This might have been his last realistic shot at the United States Championship, and you could feel that desperation from the moment his music hit. Quick question for the comments: do you think Johnny Gargano will ever win a singles title on the main roster, or has that ship sailed? Be honest, because I want to know what you really think. The match starts, and immediately you can tell this is different. There's no feeling out process, no handshake, no show of respect. Johnny comes out swinging like a man possessed. He hits Dragunov with a shotgun dropkick before the bell even officially rings, and Ilja goes flying into the corner. The ref's trying to restore order, the bell finally rings, and Johnny is just unloading with chops, forearms, and strikes that are making Dragunov's chest look like someone took a cheese grater to it. The crowd is already on their feet because they can sense this isn't going to be your typical 12-minute TV match. This is going to be a war. Dragunov, to his credit, absorbs the punishment like he's feeding off it. That's his whole thing, right? The more you hurt him, the more dangerous he becomes. He catches one of Johnny's strikes, headbutts him right in the face, and I mean a legitimate, brutal headbutt that makes you wince, and then drops him with a backdrop driver that has Johnny landing right on the back of his head. The sound alone was sickening. Michael Cole is screaming about how this is already out of control, and we're only 3 minutes in. Here's where the psychology gets beautiful. Johnny starts targeting Dragunov's arm, specifically the shoulder that Ilja hurt a few weeks ago during that match with LA Knight. Johnny's wrapping the arm around the ring post, hitting it with step-up knee strikes, working that Gargano escape submission that hyperextends the arm. This is smart wrestling. You can't powerbomb someone if your arm doesn't work. You can't hit that devastating torpedo Moscow if your shoulder is compromised. Johnny Wrestling is wrestling, folks, and it's a masterclass. But Dragunov? This man is built different. Around the 15-minute mark, Johnny has the Gargano escape locked in deep. Dragunov's in the center of the ring, the crowd is losing their minds, and you can see Johnny's face. He believes this is it. This is his moment. But Dragunov does something absolutely insane. He starts slamming his own head into the mat repeatedly, not to tap out, but to knock himself into an adrenaline state where the pain doesn't matter anymore. The ref's checking on him, John is cranking back harder, and somehow, Dragunov powers to his feet with Johnny still on his back and drives him into the corner with such force that Johnny has to break the hold. Pop quiz for the hardcore fans: what year did Ilja Dragunov win the NXT UK Championship? First correct answer gets a heart from me. The final stretch of this match is where both guys just completely abandon their bodies for the Sikoa victory. We're talking about suicide dives that look like car crashes, suplexes on the ring apron, the hardest part of the ring, as we're constantly reminded, and strike exchanges that sound like baseball bats hitting meat. Johnny hits the lawn dart, driving Dragunov face first into the exposed turnbuckle, and goes for one final beat. He connects. The place erupts. He covers. 1, 2, THR. Dragunov kicks out. The look on Johnny's face is devastating. It's disbelief, frustration, and the dawning realization that he might have to actually kill this man to win the title. He sets up for another one final beat, but Dragunov catches him mid-move, transitions into a German suplex, but Johnny lands on his feet. Superkick. Dragunov responds with a rolling elbow, Johnny with a reverse runner. Both men are down, and the crowd is chanting "This is awesome," because it absolutely is. They both struggle to their feet, using each other to pull themselves up, and you can see the mutual respect even in the middle of this absolute carnage. They start trading forearms, the stiffest forearms you've ever seen. Every single strike sounds like a gunshot echoing through the arena. Dragunov starts screaming in Johnny's face in Russian. I don't know what he's saying, but it sounds terrifying, and Johnny just screams back. The intensity is unreal. Here's my question: do you prefer matches like this with pure intensity and stiff strikes, or do you like more technical, mat-based wrestling? Let me know in the comments because I'm curious about what Wrestling Zone fans prefer. Dragunov finally gets the upper hand with a series of devastating chops that literally drop Johnny to his knees. He pulls Johnny up, hoists him for the Torpedo Moscow, his signature flying headbutt, but Johnny desperately rolls him up. 1, 2, THR. No. Dragunov barely kicks out. Johnny immediately transitions, trying to lock in the Gargano escape again, but Dragunov has it scouted, spins out. Torpedo Moscow. The impact is sickening. Dragunov covers. 1, 2, 3. The ref calls for the bell at 23 minutes and 47 seconds, and both men are absolutely destroyed in the middle of that ring. Dragunov retains his United States Championship, but at what cost? The man can barely stand. Johnny's being checked on by medical staff because he took that Torpedo Moscow right to the bridge of his nose, and there's concern about a potential concussion. But here's the moment that got me. After they both finally make it to their feet, after the ref raises Dragunov's hand and gives him his championship, Ilja walks over to Johnny. The crowd goes quiet because we don't know what's about to happen. Is there going to be a post-match attack? More violence? Instead, Dragunov extends his hand. Johnny looks at it, looks at the crowd, and after what feels like forever, he shakes it. They embrace in the middle of the ring, and the crowd gives them a standing ovation. That's wrestling, folks. That's the storytelling that makes this business special. Now let's talk about the implications of this match because there are layers here. First, Dragunov's championship reign just gained even more credibility. He didn't just beat a mid-carder or a transitional challenger, he beat Johnny freaking Gargano in what will absolutely be in the conversation for Match of the Year. When you're putting on classics like this on weekly television, you're elevating not just yourself, but the entire championship. The United States title hasn't felt this important since John Cena's US Open Challenge run, and I will die on that hill. For Johnny, this is heartbreaking but also somehow beautiful. He proved that he can still go at the absolute highest level. At 37 years old, after all the NXT wars, after the injuries, after everything, Johnny Gargano just proved he's still one of the best in-ring performers in the entire world. The loss stings, sure, but sometimes the best stories are about the valiant warrior who gave everything but came up just short. That's Johnny's story right now, and honestly, it makes him even more sympathetic as a character. Here's a big picture question: where does Johnny go from here? Does he get another shot? Does he move to a different title picture? Does he go back to tag team competition with Ciampa? Drop your predictions below. There's also the question of who's next for Dragunov. He's beaten essentially everyone in the mid-card at this point. Do you move him into the World Championship picture? Does someone from NXT get called up specifically to challenge him? What about Gunther potentially moving down to reclaim the title he made famous? Or, and hear me out, what if the MFTs decide they want that United States Championship and we get a whole different kind of program? The possibilities are endless, and that's exciting. Some people online are saying this match was wasted on free TV and should have been saved for a premium live event. To those people I say, you're wrong, and here's why. Matches like this on SmackDown remind people why they should be watching WWE television every single week. Not everything needs to be saved for the big shows. Sometimes you just deliver an absolute banger on a random Thursday in November and remind the world that you're the premier wrestling promotion on the planet. WWE did that here. They proved it. Also, let's be real, this match probably does better numbers on USA Network, reaching millions of viewers, than it would have on Peacock, where it might have been overshadowed by other matches on a stacked card. This way, this match gets to be the moment everyone talks about from this episode. It gets the spotlight it deserves. Final question before we wrap: on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this match? And what was your match of the year so far for 2025? I want to see what you guys think. The bottom line is this: the 7th of November 2025 will be remembered as the night SmackDown delivered a masterpiece. Ilja Dragunov vs Johnny Gargano for the United States Championship was everything a title match should be: hard-hitting, emotionally resonant, psychologically sound, and absolutely brutal in the best possible way. Both men left everything they had in that ring, and we as fans are privileged to have witnessed it. Dragunov continues his reign of terror as United States Champion, cementing himself as one of the most credible champions in recent memory. Johnny Gargano proved once again that he's Johnny Wrestling for a reason, and even in defeat, he showed why he's one of the most respected performers in the industry. This is the kind of match that reminds you why you fell in love with professional wrestling in the first place. If you haven't watched this match yet, stop what you're doing and go watch it right now. If you have watched it, go watch it again, because I guarantee you'll catch details you missed the first time. This is required viewing for any wrestling fan, and I don't say that lightly. Make sure you're subscribed to Wrestling Zone, because we'll be breaking down every major match and storyline as we head toward Survivor Series and beyond. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown, share this video with anyone who loves real wrestling, and let me know in the comments, are you Team Dragunov or Team Gargano?